was nowhere near the way I left it. If you know my work and you see my videos, you know how I do my work. I take pride and I love what I do. Hello, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Extreme School Makeovers. This is Raglan Power Jr., your neighborhood hero. All right, this episode, I'm gonna need a little more support. Okay, because we're gonna go and do an update on 2 schools I did 2 years ago. Okay, these are 2 schools I did 2 years ago, and when we go there, we're going to figure out, are they able to maintain it or are they not able to maintain it? Okay, because my theory is when I go to these schools, to get everything under control, get everything manageable, the things that the grounds crew can't do, I go in and I do it, okay? Just to make it their job a little lighter and to make it feasible for them, okay? So when I went to these schools, whew, yeah, you're about to find out. All right, that's why I say I need you all in my corner. I need a little more support this episode because, you know, my energy got a little down, okay? Had me listening to gospel music. Okay, had to lift my spirits. I had to get something in my soul to, you know, bring me back up, okay? So that's what we're gonna do this episode. We're gonna go in, do an update, see how they're able to maintain it, and what solutions that we can come up with to improve what we're doing here at Extreme School Makeovers, okay? So sit back, relax, grab your cold cut grapes and your cherry Coke Slurpee. I'll see you in a minute. Love you. Jesus loves me. Love you. Oh, before we get into the update of both of the schools, there will be before and after so you can see how it was when I got there, how it was when I left, and then we can get into the update, okay? So, but if you want to see both of the schools in its entirety, go to my description. The links will be there and you can watch it in its entirety, okay? All right, love you. It's not like I left it. All right, because we had on this school did the whole shebang. We had mulched, pruned, pulled weeds, got weeds out the cracks, cut the grass, trimmed the crepe myrtles in the front. We did a whole lot, and I think it looks a lot worse than what than when I came to do it the first time. Okay. If you saw the before and afters or however it may be, you'll know how it was and how I left it. So let me show you what it looks like now, and then we can, you know, determine what needs to be done from here, okay? All right, so because the main goal with the schools is if I do them, you know, and get them prepared and get them right, you know, then the ground school will be able to maintain it and keep it up and keep it looking, you know, good for when the students and staff and, you know, come in. It'll be well maintained. But in this case, nah, it's not, that's not the case, okay? So let me show you what's going on and then we can elaborate from there, okay? All right, here you go. All right, so this is the front of the school. Well, we did the bushes and stuff like that. And as you can see, there's just weeds growing up everywhere in the front, and weeds down in there, and the bushes and the weeds are growing out of control. And as you can see, the rocks that had the friendly reminders on there and stuff like that, and it's up under all these weeds and they can't get it, okay? And for this right here is done. Okay, so all of this hasn't been maintained. Okay, there has to be a measure that we can do to make it feasible. Okay, now I'm gonna show you the pruning that we had did along the side of the building that was out of control, but now it just looks out of control even more. Okay, just weeds everywhere. Okay, all right, let me show you. So here how the weeds are coming up here, all along here. It's just out of control. Okay, and how are they supposed to, you know, have good morale boosters if this is what it looks like now? Okay, you could tell they haven't been trimming along the edges. No weeds have been pulled out. Over here, just big old weeds that's coming up. And you know, if you got your air filter, your AC unit going into the schools, you know, it seems like you would clean the vines off of the AC unit, which we had did the first time. Okay, so I don't understand what's going on, but we gotta do something. Now, as far as wise the trimming, the grass cut, and everything else in between, that hasn't been done either as well. Let me show you. So here you got all this grass coming up. You got the grass coming through here, but even still going down here, it's just grass all in the sidewalks coming down here. And this is a real hazard. Somebody can really trip up and hurt themselves. And as you can see, all the leftover grass and the tall grass going in between there, they could be planting something pretty up in there for the kids. And all of this tall grass, and now the walkway, we had trimmed all of this up, and now grass is just coming through like it's nobody's business all through here. Okay, and on this side too as well. Okay, so up here, when we had cut the grass previously, we had make sure, all this leftover grass and stuff and tall weeds growing everywhere. And then over here, when we had came and cleaned all this out, now it's back tall again. And this is, you know, like not years, I'm sorry. This is like months of neglect. It might be even more than that, of neglect coming through here. Okay, so the one thing I'm a stickler for is focal points. Okay, and what people see and things of that nature. So when we come up the steps, we see tall weeds right up in there, how the grass overlaps and things of that nature going up in here. You know, how is people supposed to do stuff? See how that is? That's not, you know, feasible for anybody. Okay, and that's not good for anybody, like over there. Now on this median strip that I had did, you know, once before, and this and that, when I came the previous time, you know, we cut it, we edged it, and things of that nature to make it look presentable. Now this is what it looks like now. Okay, so we got tall grass that's just growing up right here all around the signs, and we got weeds coming all around the parking lot area. Okay, you see how tall this grass is. This is outrageous. Okay, and grass around there, and you can see this cone is just like outdone. All right, so and with the weeds and stuff coming up around the signs and over here, it's just, you know, out of control. And it doesn't look like, you know, they left grass all along in there. Okay, and it's just like it's just not being upkept, maintained. It just for real, it looks like they just don't even care, you know, if it looks good or if it doesn't look good. But anybody that comes into a school and they see this, well, what are their first impressions going to be? Look at this. This is tall weeds, grass. You know, what's their first impression going to be? We got overgrown trees that you can't see up under, so they don't know what's coming. They got big vines growing up in the bushes, as you can see. Grass all in the cracks in the sidewalks, things of that nature, and it's not feasible. So we gotta, whew, oh, have mercy. And they're not even cleaning the drains out. You know, they got trash by the drain, and the drain got weeds coming all through there and stuff like that. And then up here, you could just see the grass just laid over on the sidewalk area, on the median area, and stuff like that. And once again, I know it's the summertime, but people still gotta walk past here. People still gotta drive past here. This is still community. And to me, this is not taking pride in what you say. You know, you're not taking pride in your job. So you can see all that stuff right there. And then coming down here, you can see all of that. And you just can't see it. You can see all the grass that's just left. And over here. So I don't know, the trees are in dire need of, you know, a trimming, the grass and everything. But I just don't understand, you know, the logic behind it. If we know that this stuff is messed up, what are we going to do about it? Okay. And this is another medium part that I did, and it had, you know, grass, you know, stuff like that, and it's kind of like worse now. So let me show you. Here you can see, hey, you can see all the grass and stuff going through here and here. And as we come around the other side, we can see the grass coming through this area. Okay, so, and as you can see, it's just not feasible. This is just, I don't care, I'm gonna do what I do, and that's that. Look at this. This is totally unacceptable. Can you see how tall this is? Let me show you. Look how tall that is. That's tall. And coming around here and things of that nature. Okay, so this is not the way I left it. There you got cans all on the sidewalk and everything. So this, the way it is now, you see it, this is not how I left it. I did my best and I did what I could to make sure things were good for the students of this school, but we gotta work and we gotta build as a community to get this right, okay? And I'm going to make it right, and we will get it right, okay? By any means necessary, we will get it right. So that's the update on this school that I did. And for what you saw in the before and afters and stuff like that, it was nowhere near the way I left it. If you know my work and you see my videos, you know how I do my work. I take pride and I love what I do. People think I'm crazy for, you know, me doing what I do and how I do it and stuff like that, but this is just what I love to do. So you got, see that tall grass all up against the building and all along there, okay? Now over here, looks like they got something going on over here. Look at, they gonna try to replace something over there with the big skyfall over there. So, but this is the way the playground is looking. Let me show you. So this is the playground area. How the tall grass and the weeds and stuff are just growing through. And this is not the way the kids are supposed to be presented, okay? And I don't, you know, big weeds under the slide, and it's like a jungle over here. So I don't know if, yeah, this is not acceptable here. So we got to figure out something on how we can come up with maintaining this stuff, okay? All right, this is how the school around back looks, and well, the playground around back looks, and it's bad, okay? Let me show you real quick. Somebody left their shoes and their clothes up there, and this is the playground area. I know daggone well kids are not playing in that, okay? Look at this, all the way down and here. Oh boy. And this is the round back of the school, school number 1. The other playground that I just showed you was over there, okay? I'm really on the number 2. Love you. Bye. All right, you still here with me? Okay, while I change the battery on this camera, if you need to, go ahead and use the restroom. Go ahead and fill up on them grapes, and go ahead and fill up your Slurpee so you can enjoy the second half of this video. Okay, so take that time. If you don't have it, just keep it, letting it play. All right, if you gotta go ahead and press pause for a second. Come right on back and enjoy the rest of the Extreme School Makeovers. I'm gonna need the more support for this second one. All right, so I'll see you in a minute. Love you. All right, we're at the next school. Excuse me. Listening to a motivation for the day. Going to these schools, man, and seeing how, you know, they looking now is just, you know, not uplifting. So I had to figure out what I need to do to uplift myself. All right, so I'm listening to Stephen Furtick, Do the New You. Okay, it's Stephen Furtick, Do the New You. Just to you know, get my spirits up high, get, you know, allowing me to, you know, embrace the new that's coming, okay, and how to, you know, get unstuck, how to keep them open mind and things of that nature, okay. So as I'm going through these schools, boy, I'm trying to, you know, figure out, but I need some positivity and a little bit of God up in me to get through this, okay. So yeah, so all right, well, you know, I'm here now, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you. It's more of the same, okay. It seems like they tried to do something with the playground, but it's still out of control. Whew, I gotta go out here in this heat. All right, here we go. All right, so yeah, it's just more of the same of what's going on as far as you know, the playground areas. It looked like they attempted to put like some new wood chips down and stuff like that, but the weeds and stuff are literally out of control and growing back through there. Let me show you. So this is the, you know, playground area. It looked like they added some chips and stuff there to make it, you know, look more feasible and stuff like that, but it's not with the weeds and stuff growing along the fence line over here. And they got weeds growing all through here, and over here for the playground area, okay. And then like the sidewalk area is just a hot mess, okay. You know, I don't know, you know, what they think, but these weeds coming through the sidewalk areas, let me show you. See how that's going down there, and it's just all through here, okay. So I don't know what they think, and it's just like tall weeds and grass and stuff all over there. You know, if you can see that along here, and you know, around the flag pole sign, it's a little, you know, rugged and raggedy all around here. So I really don't want to hear, you know, well, you know, school's out, so no, it's not an excuse, man. This is not an excuse. Let me show you the medium part that we did. It's oof. Okay, let me show you. So here's the grass and the medium part right here, and going along here is out of control. You can see where they left the old grass and stuff where they were cutting and stuff like that over here. And then over on this side, it's just out of control. And when people come to park, I don't understand what they expect people to do. I mean, I don't know. I just think that it could have been a lot better maintaining, but it really just looks like people have just here, like they're literally just giving up and not taking pride in their job. Whereas though in order to do this kind of work, you got to have some type of love for it. You got to have some type of affection for it, because if you don't, then it's just going to look like what it is now. Let me show you. This is the front of the school, so when they come through the entrance way, this is what they see. Jesus Christ. Okay, so you got weeds growing all along the fence. Like I said, this is the entryway, and then when they see, it's just weeds growing all along the fence line, and coming down here, it's just grass all along the fence, and not edged up, cut. You can see right here where the grass is extremely high, and they got weeds coming out the fence here, and they got new growth growing right here on this one. All right, and big tall weeds growing through the fence line. Jesus. Okay, and this is not, I don't care, because school hasn't been out but a month, and this is not a month's worth of growth. You can see where they tried to cut something down because it's dead, and they ain't cut the grass since. You can see how tall the grass is, and the new growth on that tree is growing, and these big old sucker weeds coming out of the fence line. Okay, and how tall the grass is. Look how tall this grass is. This is tall. Jesus. Okay, and this is how it looks on the inside of the fence with everything growing. That's just crazy. And then the new growth on this tree is just growing. Okay, and this is the entryway, and you got, you know, they didn't spruce the crepe myrtles up. Okay, so they can look and hear and around, and you can see all of this new growth growing here. Okay, and look how tall this grass is. Jesus, that's tall. Jesus Christ. All right, let me show you this walkway area. Walkway area. This is the entryway. So when they're coming around and going up to the school, this is what they're walking on. They're walking on straight concrete and grass. All right. It looked like they tried to do something with the crepe myrtles. No, they didn't. Let me stop. They tried to do something with sprucing the lower limbs down, but you know, as you can see, it's just overgrowing, and they got, you know, limbs that's just broken. It looked like they tried to do something, but the limb is just broken and hanging off, as you can see. It looked like they were trying to do something over here, and I just wanted to show you these playground area over here. And as they're going to the playground area, this is what they're seeing. All this weeds and overgrowth, and they're not doing any trimming whatsoever on these properties. So when I was here the last time, I said about this playground that we were going to do something about it, but they said they were going to do something with it, but they hadn't done nothing with it. Let me show you. So there's grass growing here all around on the playground area. There's weeds coming up here and along here. This is the playground area here, and just tall grass. Oh, they got mud and stuff all down there. That ain't good for the kids. And these tall weeds along the fence, that ain't good either. That needs to come down. And then over here, so this is the playground area where this field is, where they come and play and stuff like that on the other side of the school. But this is not good for them to play around in. And then this with the tall grass and the tall grass over here. That's tall grass. And then up under here. This is not good. Kids do not deserve to be playing on nothing like this. Look at that. That's crazy. And then, you know, they got their gymnastic bars over here. And this is just outright ridiculous. And then the weeds growing up along the temporary buildings. And on the inside of the temporary building. So they're supposed to walk and maintain stuff, and they got a lock. Well, it ain't locked, it's just with the lock and key, but why would they want to lock it when all this grass is just all around here? So when they come, this is all they seeing is this. Just tall grass everywhere. That's not good and along here. So yeah, so that's what we got going on. And then around here, it's just not, oh boy, please. So what we're gonna do is go back to the drawing board and figure out what we're gonna do and how we're gonna plan to be able to get it manicured, to be able to get it looking good for when school starts back. We got, well, I ain't gonna say we got time, but you know, we got a little bit. Let me show you. Look how much this is. Look at it. All the way down. That's a lot. Jesus Christ. And I just seen something else. That's a lot to be able to do. So I understand about the lack of resources. And I know I keep saying the same thing over and over again, but sometimes we gotta repeat so we can know what we're dealing with, you know. I understand the lack of resources. I understand that, you know, the adequate amount of help and things like that, but something else has to be done in order for this to be good. Like over here, somebody playing on the courts up there, but right here, all the way around, it's just not good, and stuff just left. And over here by the meters and stuff, it's just big weeds all up in here, and they got them locked off. So there's big weeds all up in here. And going back here. All right, my battery about to die. Let me change my battery real quick and I'll be right back with you. That's it. That's all. Okay? It didn't go the way as it was supposed to, was it? But we will get it right. We will figure out a way where we can make these schools better, okay? I can come in, I can do a superb job the first time. I can come and do a bang up job the first time and make it look great. But there are also other days in the month. There's other days in the year, okay? We gotta constantly keep it maintained, okay? So we gotta figure out a way where we can maintain it, okay? It shouldn't just, you know, be done for a particular time and then let go for the rest of the year, okay? Because students, sometimes some students look forward to, you know, coming to school. Sometimes they have it hard at home. Sometimes their living conditions aren't as great. Yeah, so if they can come to a well manicured school, I mean, with, you know, vibrant colors, with, you know, the landscape immaculate and things of that nature, I think that has a tendency to boost the morale. But when they looking at landscapes from what we've seen at these two schools, I don't see where the morale and the excitement is coming. Okay, so yes, we're going to figure out what we can do. And if you have any suggestions, feel free to leave a comment below. Okay, feel free to leave a comment. I'm taking all suggestions. I'm taking all feedback because we have to do something about this beautification at these public schools so we can get the youth off to a great start. Okay, and we can give the staff the enthusiasm, the energy to give them the best that they have. Okay, so that's it for this week. Feel free to leave your comments below, and I'll see you all next Sunday. All right, next Sunday at 7:30 there'll be a new episode of Extreme School Makeovers. All right, I'll see you next Sunday. Love you. Jesus loves me. Thanks for being the moral support.